Trump has criticized you a number of times in the past couple of days on a number of different issues, one of them being COVID in the state.
Well, look, what I would just say is this. I roll out of bed. I have people attacking me from all angles. It's been happening for many, many years. And if you look at the good thing about it, though, is like if you take a crisis situation like COVID, the good thing about it is when you're an elected executive, you have to make all kinds of decisions. You got to steer that ship. And the good thing is that the people are able to render a judgment on that, whether they reelect you or not. And I'm happy to say, in my case, not only did we win re-election, we won with the highest percentage of the vote that any Republican governor candidate has in the history of the state of Florida. We won by the largest raw vote margin, over 1.5 million votes, than any governor candidate has ever had in Florida history. And in fact, we almost doubled the previous record, which I think was like 780,000 vote margin. And so what I would just say is that verdict has been rendered by the people of the state of Florida.
Say what? The baby bird has finally left the nest. Bambi's legs are sturdy enough to stand on his own. The upstart girl is coming to challenge King MAGA Trump. It's madness that's going on. Yes, Ron DeSantis is finally clapping back at Donald Trump and the criticisms that have been ramping up and building because we all know who's running for president. I mean, we think so. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But Trump is definitely on the attack, and Ron DeSantis is finally answering questions. That direct one asking, what do you think of all this? And apparently it's, I won and you lost, so shut up. I mean, that's what he could have said. He never even really said his name though. But he has come a long way, baby DeSantis, little minion, from these days. Remember this?
Everyone knows my husband, Ron DeSantis, is endorsed by President Trump, but he's also an amazing dad. Ron loves playing with the kids.
Build the wall.
He reads stories.
Then Mr. Trump said, "You're fired." I love that part.
He's teaching Madison to talk.
Make America great again.
People say Ron's all Trump, but he is so much more.
Big league, so good.
I just thought you should know.
Far, far away. So now we're looking at this potentially staring down the barrel of 2024, probably one of the most contentious races that we'll probably see again if it does pan out that way. Ron DeSantis is finally saying things back, and I think he's gonna gain a little bit of support for it because people are probably waiting on this to happen. So what is he responding to? Because that reporter did ask him all these the criticisms that are coming his way. Let's listen to what Trump has been saying, at least lately, about Ron DeSantis.
Ron would have not been governor if it wasn't for me. Then when I hear he might run, I consider that very disloyal. Florida was actually closed for a very long period of time. Remember, he closed the beaches and everything else. They're trying to rewrite history. Nikki Haley called me the other day to talk to me. I talked to her for a little while, but I said, look, go by your heart if you want to run. She's publicly stated I would never run against my president. He was a great president.
Heat is gonna also come for Nikki Haley when she finally announces, which I think is gonna happen mid-month here soon. But They're trying to rewrite history. All the beaches were closed in Florida. He's one of those folks who was against everything. It's madness how this is all going down because he's seeing and reading what's actually going on with some of these polls. This is from Fox News, this particular piece here. They said until recently, Trump was the clear and overwhelming frontrunner in the early 2024 Republican presidential nomination polls. However, a handful of national surveys released last month, Trump trailed DeSantis, who's standing with conservatives across the country, has soared over the past 3 years. Here's a couple of examples of that in case you guys don't believe Fox News. I understand that. How about some randos on Twitter? One said, this is a very concrete illustration of why DeSantis is better suited for national office than DJT. This is in response to DeSantis finally clapping back. Someone else said, DeSantis just buried the knife in Trump with a quiet smile. That's our man for 2024. Wow. Also, DeSantis ain't gonna let bully Trump get to him. I love you, Ron. There's one more for these illustrative purposes. I voted for Trump twice, this person said. I feel there were forces that influenced the election. They believe that. But to continue playing childish games as name calling DeSantis, I am fed up with Trump's ego. DeSantis has my vote. He's a veteran and a patriot. He has what we need now. This is weird, Jeff. This is really crazy to me. So again, this is a small, very extremely small sample size, but I sifted through comments on Fox News sites. I sifted through comments based off some of these videos from more conservative Twitter pages as well to see, because you'll generally see the supporters of those talking about it. It was kind of 50-50, but what I did notice, there was this trend towards, I'm sick of bully Trump. His ego's in the way. He only thinks of himself. We need someone who's more measured. Where was all those thoughts when he was doing all this stuff before, and he was destroying and tearing through the country and doing whatever the hell he wants for his own benefit? None of that was there, which means these folks knew who Trump was, didn't like how he was, but it's okay as long as he's owning the libs, which he wasn't. He was owning himself, which you maybe see from these 45 to 50 lawsuits that he's facing now. So your thoughts on this, Jeff? Who's gonna win, and are you even looking forward to this? I'm not sure.
I'm actually looking forward to this, but I want to go back to something you alluded to. DeSantis didn't say Trump's name, and then I was looking at a few articles about this whole story, and somebody compared it, made an analogy to Trump being like a wrestler and calling somebody out. I want to, bring this back to the truest essence of hip hop, which is the battle, the rap battle. And DeSantis, if you're going to battle somebody, you're going to have to say their name in a song. Or in Twitter terms, if you're going to at him, then please at him. Because I would imagine Trump knows this and he sees this, and he's going to take advantage of this to see this as a weakness. DeSantis is weak because he's not even going to say my name. Trump very much is going to call him out and say his name. He's been doing so already. And so what I'm kind of looking forward to see if it fractures the Republican Party, as in MAGA Trump versus DeSantis. We can all agree that DeSantis might be, and I don't like him or his policies. He might be the best thing for the Republican Party moving forward, but Trump doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the Republican Party. Trump cares about Trump. And with all of that being said, DeSantis has to agree and know that, yes, he got in this position because of Trump. That is undeniable. He knows it and Trump knows it. So we'll see.
And the thing is that happens so much. A lot of times the leader of a party may embrace someone, endorse them, bring them to the forefront. And then afterwards, it's supposed to be a nice transition. Yeah, this person gets their position, I move on and do mine. But Donald Trump can't get beyond himself. So of course, even that bit of his endorsement and promotion of him earlier on in Ron DeSantis's career, it's relevant, but it's all Trump's gonna stick with and land on here. I'm glad you brought up, the purest form of hip hop, because Corrupt, the illustrious Corrupt, had a song called "Calling Out Names." Because when you're gonna talk about somebody, let's call out some names. One of my favorites. Their name. One of my favorites. I met Corrupt once. He's an amazing artist. Let's go ahead and shift to what the response is, though, because we knew this would happen. I was just waiting for it. Let's go ahead and start here about what happened between Trump after DeSantis finally spoke up. Let's go here.
Has criticized you a number of times in the past couple of days on a number of different issues, one of them being COVID in the state.
Well, look, what I would just say is this. Not only did we win re-election, we won with the highest percentage of the vote that any Republican governor candidate has in the history of the state of Florida. And so what I would just say is that verdict has been rendered by the people of the state of Florida.
As you heard late Tuesday, Ron DeSantis responded to Donald Trump's criticism, a response that I don't think Trump liked very much. And in fact, matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he didn't like it, because all Ron really said there was, I won, you lost, check the scoreboard, you suck, I don't, I'm gonna beat you. I mean, I think I added a few thoughts there to it, but still, Donald Trump didn't like what he said. Let's look at what Donald Trump then responded with, because he took to Truth Social to rant quite a bit. He retweeted this one person who said, totally agree, 100%. People need to do their research. DeSantis is fake and a globalist. Wow, because Trump called him a globalist rhino. That's fun. Also more because Donald Trump then responded and re-truthed and helped people out with their promotion. And he said, thank you. The real Ron is a robo-rhino globalist who closed quickly down, Florida and even its beaches, loved the vaccines and wasted big money on testing, quote unquote testing. How quickly people forget. Pause for a second before we go to more of Donald Trump's rantings. He said he loved the vaccines and wasted big money on testing. Donald Trump has been in support of these vaccines. He talked about the speedy program that he helped introduce to get the vaccines out as quickly as possible. He's promoted the vaccines. He said he took the vaccines because it saved his life. He's going through all of that. But for the purpose of this fight, Ron DeSantis loved the vaccines. Again, I think they're both insane, but the fighting is just going to continue. Let's let Trump continue his rants though. He said, remember, I was 233 and 20 in the midterms, and I got 1.2 million votes more than Ron DeSanctimonious in the great state of Florida. Also, 12 million more votes in 2020 than in 2016 and won. Oh man, he knew exactly how to hit him. This is one of those things that's gonna be one of those, there's gonna be backdoor insults, which Ron DeSantis did there earlier on when he didn't say his name, but then he pointed out how much he won by, which of course is gonna make Donald Trump start talking about all the votes that he got in his loss. This is gonna be fun though. Still, there's folks that are trying to figure out which side of this battle they're gonna be on. There's Republican senators and congressmen who are trying to figure out which side to actually take because they know whoever ends up winning this nomination, they're gonna have to be on the right side from the beginning, especially if it ends up being Trump because he's got vendettas out on folks.